Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning. I am your host, Larnie Mulvey. I am the Power Lady, and this is Standing in Strength Summit number 2, part of a multiple series of Standing in Strength. And I am here today for our last day of the summit. And again, we have a power-packed time filled with some amazing, powerful speakers. So first of all, I just wanted to say from the speakers yesterday, I was reflecting on that after watching the video and the replay, just amazing value that these speakers provide to give hope, to give resources, to give amazing value and support your strength, your inner strength, to make you feel and make you believe that you have that inner power inside of you and that you are so much stronger than you think you are. So I'm so glad that that people are able to listen to those speakers that were available yesterday, and even the ones on Thursday. It was amazing. So the purpose of this summit is to not only connect people with resources, but also to let people know that they're not alone in any kind of journey, because there is someone else out there who's maybe feeling the same way as you, who's knowing that they're going through the struggle and they know your struggle. And we want to make sure that there is a resource for everyone. So the end of today, I will be launching the Women's Strength Initiative, which is a resource, which is going to be giving people access to like the speakers that we had, because when I was starting my journey on entrepreneurship and business, I had no idea that there were so many resources out there. I really had to step out of myself, find myself, and understand that I cannot do it myself, that I don't know everything, that Mr. Google does not know everything. You actually really have to dive in to people who know, or who have experience, or who have the expertise to help you out. So that is one of the big purposes of the Women's Strength Initiative, because I know there are a ton of people who are in my shoes and like, okay, what do I do? Where do I start? So the Women's Strength Initiative is going to be a great resource. It's going to be a great landing point for asking questions, a great landing point for saying, hey, Larnie, do you know blah, 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 how to do this? And it's like, if I don't know, I can probably connect you to somebody who can. So, that is the really big purpose of the Women's Strength Initiative. And it's to change the narrative, because I want to make sure that everyone has this access to build the vision of who they want to see, to build the opportunity that they see in their mind. Let's connect you with people who can help you build that opportunity. So I want to make sure that access to entrepreneurship, leadership, mentorship, networking, health and wellness, and fitness, all that is available in the Women's Strength Initiative. And that's why it's part of the Realms of Strength. And for some of you guys probably already know how much I love talking about strength and anything power. That is the point of the Women's Strength Initiative. But first of all, I was going to talk about the Women's Strength Initiative a little bit more, but I'll do that at the end. So today, the way I wanted to start this was to replay Issa Kushma's interview that I had with her, because I got some messages yesterday that the recording nobody could hear. So I'm going to replay it now, even though I posted it on the Strong and Mighty page on the YouTube link to watch, just in case. I want to make sure I give Issa her time and make sure that her message of mental health and wellness gets heard today. So I'm going to replay that right now, and then we will have our next speaker coming up right after. Another amazing, powerful speaker, Crystal Richardson, one of my mentors. I hope she knows she's one of my mentors, because she's helped me through a lot. So I will get you guys playing on this video, and please enjoy Issa. I enjoy having conversations with her. So here is her recording and her interview. Enjoy. All right. All right. So thank you everyone for being on the Standing in Strength Summit number 2. I have one of my friends, my virtual friends. We have not met yet in person. We will eventually one of these days. Her name is Issa Amazing. I don't really say her last name. It's just because Issa Amazing is what I know. But I wanted to bring her on the Standing in Strength Summit because her perspective of fitness and mental health is very important and definitely falls within these realms of strength that we all need. And so I'm going to have Issa introduce herself, and we'll just go back and forth. So Issa, tell us a little bit more about yourself and tell the audience about yourself.
So, my name is Issa Kushma. I am the owner of It's Amazing Fitness and Coaching. I am a kettlebell sport athlete. I am also a kettlebell sport coach, as well as just an all-around trainer. And I am a yoga instructor, as well as a 24-year Army combat veteran officer, so to speak. And I also am a nutrition coach. I'm a nutrition, what is it? Nutritious Life nutrition coach. So that's what I do. I'm pretty much all things fitness, fitness, fun, and food. That is what
It's
I
fun and
do.
food. And
Fitness,
she's a
fun,
dog
and
mom.
food. And I am a dog mom to a very spoiled baby. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I do. But I do all of my stuff in person, as well as I have avenues to do distance training and online training, whether it's through an app, whether it's through Zoom or FaceTime or Google Duo. I really believe in meeting the client where they are. So if they have Google Duo, because they don't have an iPhone, then I'll download the Google Duo app and we can virtually train that way. Or if they're a person, they just want me to write out workouts and nutrition plans for them, old school analog way, I do that as well. Or if they want to just put it in an Excel drive or a Google Drive, I just really try to make myself accessible to people because I want to continue to have fitness be as accessible as possible. So don't let the fact that I live in El Paso, Texas, stop us from working together. That's just kind of one of my philosophies.
And I think that's what I admire about you so much is that you are so accessible to not only the services that you provide when it comes to your fitness, but I know we have talked before about the importance of fitness and how it helps your mental health and everything. Can you give us a little bit of an insight on that?
Yes. So I'm actually very honest and open about it, which I think is how Larnie found me. Even like on my Instagram stories, I talk about the fact that I struggle or I used to struggle with mental health issues prior to me getting help, actual going to a therapist and getting medication. And I'm just very open and honest about it because once upon a time I was not. I was not honest about it. I was suffering in silence and my weight was actually going up. Not only was my body fat percentage going up, but other parts of my health was actually declining. And it was kind of an unexplained reason why.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of it was because I wasn't out. No one knew. No one knew that I was having the mental situation. And the only reason my weight really mattered is because of my job. You know, being in the military, I have to be a certain size. And I was not maintaining that size. And on top of that, my health was starting to decline, where my joints were hurting all the time. And again, trying to do the job that I was doing at 210 pounds and 40, almost 40% body fat was just not marrying together well. And so either way, I ended up finally going to a therapist, and then they recommended me to go to a psychiatrist, and then I started taking some antidepressants and stuff. And then at some point, I got into fitness. I started doing, one of those online buy our CDs and our shakes, one of those when I give them free advertisement stuff. And I started getting into that. And when I got into that, next thing you know, I wasn't taking the antidepressants, but all of my they have a particular medical name for the numbers, but all my numbers were still looking good. And so then my psychologist helped draw the line for me, connect the dots for me that said like, oh, well, no, if you come off, if you wean yourself off because you're doing the fitness stuff and your serotonin levels are, going up, yada yada. He's like, keep doing that. He's like, you're getting the high naturally without the medication. So that's kind of what really helped elevate me into using fitness as a replacement. Now, I do still go to therapy. I do still take other medication, fast forward several years later, and I'm older and have a lot other life problems that I need some assistance with. But it just helped draw the lines for me and connect those dots of how fitness can help mental health, especially when sometimes you move and you don't have access to your mental health. So, your mental health provider. So it's like, oh, well, then do I just continue to suffer? Yeah. Or do you try to do what you can with what you have and don't let these internets fool you? Fitness is free. I mean, you can pay some people, but you also
have a walk. You can, do
exactly
do whatever you need.
Because
yeah,
because after I didn't have the money for, I decided to get out of the cycle of those DVDs and shakes. I moved and started a hula hoop challenge. It was either a hula hoop challenge or a jump rope challenge in my driveway. Yes. So I still have the hula hoop, I still have the jump rope, but I couldn't even do, by then, again, other life stuff had happened. I could not jump rope for more than 3 minutes. But I committed that I said for the next 30 days, I'm going to do, this was right when Facebook groups became a thing. And I was like, I'm going to do this Facebook group challenge of jumping rope every day. I actually won the challenge. And I was just like, every day in my driveway, I'm going to jump rope. And then eventually I was like, I'm just going to do it for like 1 minute. And then eventually that 1 minute became 2 minutes. Then the next thing you know, it was one song. And then it was 3 songs. I could go for 3 whole songs. And then the next month, it was a hula hoop challenge. And so I got a hula hoop. And that's how I started. And then just getting the movement in started working. And of course, we all know fitness begot more fitness. And then it started, once I started feeling better. I wanted to start eating to match my goals. So that's the other thing. Like, I don't necessarily say eat good food, eat bad food, eat for your goals. And so my goal at the time was to lose weight because I was in jeopardy of losing my job. And so I started eating to lose body fat. And it just started marrying together again, but I started with like no money. I didn't have, because my ex-husband had bought the fitness program with the DVD. So now that I was divorced, I had none of that. I just had a hula hoop and a jump rope. And then eventually I bought some 5-pound weights that I still have to this day too. I use all these tools with my clients because it's like, I just want to show you, it doesn't have to cost a lot to get started. It's going to cost your heart. That's what it costs, your heart and your mind. And so again, if you're like super depressed and down, your mind's not right, it's understandable that your fitness ain't going to be right. Or you're going to have a sucky mindset towards fitness. And it's like, no, let's marry them all together. Let them work like a nice little partnership, until you have access to more money or have access to a gym or have access to a psychologist or have access to a psychiatrist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you have your clients that are like struggling, who are just like, you know what, it's not, I don't know if I could do this, but then they take it the same idea outside of the gym. Like, what advice do you have to your clients or even like your friends or family who feel like they're just not feeling the strongest version of themselves? Like, how do you bring them to that level, even if it's a beginning level? Like, how do you get them to that level?
Well, one, that's where, again, us as fitness professionals, it helps to share our own stories. Because you walked in, like even you, Larnie, you walked in on chapter 6 of my fitness journey. But you didn't know that chapter 1 or the prelogue or the prelogue was some 5-pound weights in a driveway.
Yeah.
So I always try to be transparent with my clients that like, hey, I wasn't always this. Like, I could not jump rope for 1 minute. Yes, me, the crazy one that's jumping and dancing around the gym. So I let them know that, one, if you stick to it, it can come. You have to set your goal. And I always, like Simon Sinek, a very great motivational speaker, it's about your why. What is your why? Bring it back to your why. So even on the suckiest days, if you truly believe in your why, sometimes that's all the energy you can muster up is, why am I doing it? So again, for me, it was, I was going to lose my job. And that was it. I was going to lose my job. And I did not want to lose my job. So I made me getting into better shape, I made it my new job because it was that important for me. And so that's what I kind of try to remind my clients is, how important is this to you? So, okay, so let's treat it like, for instance, Marnie, I'm gonna act like you're one of my clients. What's something that's important to you? What's something important to you?
What is important to me? Well, being happy is important for me. Being happy,
okay.
Making sure that I have energy every day. That's like important.
Okay, so let's take that right there. So if you want to be happy and you want to make sure that you have energy every day, you're going to do certain things, right? You're going to not consume trashy television. Maybe you're to either work out or you're going to drink coffee because the goal is to have energy. You want to be happy, so you may go on a date with your significant other, right? My point is, you're doing things to reach your goal because happiness and energy is important to you. So you got to work out because you got this goal, right? But you hate it. Okay, so let's put some things in place to treat this just as important. So how about you not wear your ratty tatty clothes to come and train with me? How about you actually pick your outfit out like you would if you were going to work? Work's pretty important. You don't go to work with a scarf on your head.
Right.
You know, we're not talking about Zoom call. But even still, you're not on the Zoom call with a scarf on your head.
Right.
Or, you know, without some makeup on, if you're a makeup wearer, you know, you look put together, you know, because that's important to your job is important to you. Or so I try to remind my clients, like, okay, so when it's time to work out, we're going to schedule our workouts. You're not going to just show up at my house Tuesday at 12 and then maybe Sunday at 3 and then Friday. No.
Yeah.
What time and date, just like a job, a 9 to 5, what time and date are we going to meet?
Yes.
It's that important. So we're going to schedule it. We're going to put it on our schedule. We're going to make it a calendar thing. And so even funny, I just was on 2 weeks of bereavement leave. And God bless them. If they see this, they will testify to it. I was in St. Louis. I was gone with my family. You think at 5 o'clock in the morning, I didn't text my client, was like, okay, so what you going to do for your workout? She was like,
what?
It's my off day, not your off day. Saturday mornings is your training day.
Yeah.
You're going to train because it's important. And it's because it's important to you and you've now paid me for it to be important to me. I'm going to hold you to that and we're going to train. And just because I'm not there, that does not mean you're not going to train. Today is your training day. And then my other client, she comes and does kettlebells on Sundays. So guess where she was on Sunday? She was in my garage doing kettlebells. And I was on FaceTime with her. And was like, okay. And I had already texted my neighbors like, hey, my client, she's still going to come on Sunday. So you'll see her car in my driveway. And they're like, oh, okay. Because I'm off, not you. We have to prioritize ourselves that way. And some people may call it selfish. I call it prioritize because it's important to me. So that's what I use for my clients that aren't motivated. And then also when they don't want to do, you know, let's just say the 45 squats I'm about to make them do. I'm like, you need to go into it confidently. Like, come on, give me some confidence. Give me some confidence. Because it's just going to suck. Like, you're gonna have to do it anyway.
Mhm.
So you can either do it begrudgingly or you can do it confidently. Because no matter what, it's gonna get done. So now the choice is yours of how it gets done. But you're
I
gonna get it done.
I love how you say, you know, sometimes you have to prioritize yourself. I think we fall into that sometimes we forget about ourselves. And then you know, you said that there is that sometimes it feels selfish, but sorry, I mean, I can only be good to people if I'm good to myself, because then I'm good to you. You know, if I'm like
Exactly.
angry person, I'm gonna lash out to other people, and then I'm not gonna be like the kind person that I want to be. Yeah, so I think with fitness and um understanding that, like, for me, you're right. Like, I was in my dark space too. You're hopping into my chapter 55, because I've started fitness so much throughout my time here on this earth, that every time I would always come back to fitness when I was feeling like I wasn't good enough, or I was like really down on myself. I would come back and do something active, you know, like I did jujitsu for a while. I was terrible at jujitsu. I tried to be a runner for a year. I'm not a I'll tell you, that was the worst decision I've ever made. That's like my WTF moment in my life. Like when I decided to run a marathon in Little Rock, Arkansas. Little to my knowledge that they grade marathons on like steepness and hills and all. I didn't know that. And Little Rock happened to be one of the hardest ones. And I thought running 5Ks every weekend was enough training. And I went and I was just like, I'm gonna do it. But when mile 9, I was like, medical tent, can you take me? Oh yeah.
Calgon, take me away.
This is my health and my mental health, like right here. Take me to the medical tent where it's air conditioned while everybody's running by going.
It wouldn't have
But
been me.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
I tried it. Hey, you know what? At least I tried. I tried it, and I know myself better. But
Right.
yeah, I
Same here. I've tried all kind of crazy fitness stuff. That's why I like that's why for my company it's called It's Amazing Fitness. Yes, my name is Issa, but it's of course a play on words. And then when you hashtag it, it's hashtag I'm fitness. So,
oh,
whether you're CrossFit, whether you're bodybuilding, whether you are powerlifting, strongman, strong woman, pole, whatever, it's your fitness. Like find your own fitness. I'm fitness. Don't believe these social medias that say you have to look a certain way or you have to do this because this is the best.
yeah,
The best, listen, children, adults, people who've been misled, get close, get close. You know what the best fitness program is? The one that you will do consistently.
that's right. Totally agree. 100%. 100%.
So if you try CrossFit and it's not for you, then CrossFit's not for you.
Yeah, there's something.
Okay, go run. Oh, running's not for you? Okay, go try BJJ. Oh, BJJ's not for you? Go try boxing. Oh, you don't like getting hit in the face? Go try something else. Like, find it. And then once you find it, I highly recommend you find a tribe or a community
Yes.
of some sort just because support is good. I also, if you've never done it, I would highly recommend you find a coach. But that
Yeah.
would be helpful to prevent injuries. I'm sure your doctor would appreciate you finding a coach, but you don't have to. But it's like, even, and here's where you use social media to your advantage. Don't use it as a comparison. Don't find a bunch of, let's say for me, kettlebell. Don't find a bunch of kettlebellers to compare yourself to them. Because
Yeah.
again, you don't know what chapter of their journey you're walking in on,
Hmm.
but use social media to help build a community so that even if you don't have a lot of money, you have a community of people that can discuss their shared experiences and help you navigate some of these waters until you can maybe afford a coach.
Yeah.
So that's just
So do you think that fitness, with all the different levels of fitness that you have experienced for yourself, do you feel like your level of fitness and how your mental health coincides today? Do you feel like it's taken a long time, or this is just part of the process that continues?
I think it's part of the process that continues for me. For like I said, first I needed someone to make the connections for me. But then, I mean, if you really think about the advice that I just gave about what if I don't want to do fitness? What if I don't feel like working out today? The advice I gave was not fitness specific. It was life specific. I
Yeah.
mean, it was life in general. So I just don't look at fitness in one little vacuum. I don't look at mental health in one little vacuum, because my mental health, my health across the board works with one another, whether it's my spiritual health, whether it is my physical health, whether it is my mental health. It is a trifecta, in my professional opinion. It is a trifecta. So, kind of like a stock portfolio for those who play the stocks. You don't want to have all of your money in stocks. You don't want to have all your money in bonds. You don't want to have all your money in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're going to have more in this one, more in that one, but ultimately you want to diversify your portfolio, correct?
Yeah.
So same thing, your fitness, you want to diversify. Sometimes you're way stronger on your spiritual fitness, and maybe lacking right now on, so let's think like the yoga, maybe, you're real strong here in your meditation, but then your mental may be super big too, but then your physical, like, I'm hurt right now. So I can't do a lot of physical stuff. So let me diversify this portfolio, So it just all works together. It's like three juggling balls, or a a financial portfolio.
I
So
love that.
sometimes, yeah. So even me, sometimes I'm like right now I'm hurt, so I can't do kettlebell sports. So I'm focusing a lot of energy on my yoga. I'm focusing energy on breath work, because I just had a death in the family, and I'm trying to navigate through that, and I can't keep sheltering myself away. So I'm working on my mental right now, and just really trying not to snap on people, because I'm going through some stuff. So and then some days, sometimes when my physical is all the way up, I don't have to work as hard on my mental, because with my physical fitness and my stamina being up so much, I don't have the anxiety, and I don't have the depressive thoughts, or I can sleep well, so I don't have all the racing thoughts that's causing my insomnia, because my adrenaline and stuff is up, or I'm really in tune with myself. So same thing, my mental health, I don't have to focus on as much, because I'm meditating all the time, or I'm listening to, taking sound baths, or, whatever. So I hope that answered the question.
It did, because it's like we were talking earlier before we started recording about how it is so important. Like the reason why I have the Standing in Strength Summit and how I want to keep building this community is because I want to give people the access to people who are experiencing walks of life like yours, walks of life like mine, because I know that there are a lot of people that may think that they're by themselves, and they're not. And I feel like the realms of strength includes this health and wellness and fitness section, because it's part of our well-being. It's part of our self-care. It's part of us being healthy, to be healthy leaders, to be healthy thinkers, to be healthy, to help the community. So I really thank you for sharing your story and sharing how you have like blossomed in yourself, but also your ups and downs too. I think it's very truthful and honest. And that's how, to me, that's why I am so glad that I asked you to come onto the summit, because it's so important for people to know that. And so important for people to know that, you know what, you're in El Paso, Texas, I'm in Chicago, and they can like send us a message and ask us and everything. So I really, really admire you for that. So as I'm wrapping up right now, I wanted to thank you, Issa, first for being on the Standing in Strength Summit. This is your second summit with me. I love it. I always like, so can you come and talk? But how do people find you?
So I did not do it on my Zoom, and I didn't do this the last time either. I apologize.
I'll
Look,
put on your speaker.
I'm bereaving right now. Okay. But
know.
it's amazing with two A's everywhere. It's amazing. So it's ISAHMAAZING. That is my handle on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook.
Yes.
There is a YouTube channel, but I don't do it very much. My LinkedIn, no, my Linktree is all It's Amazing. That is, or sometimes you'll see it as It's Amazing Fitness. But trust me, if you type in It's Amazing,
it comes up.
You're gonna find it. And then if you especially on like Instagram, if you type in the hashtag I'm fitness, so IMFITNESS, I'm fitness, you'll see a lot of my posts there too.
Oh.
And then I'm way more responsive on Instagram than any other platform. And anybody that's listening to this and they just want some simple advice, that I'm not your psychologist, I'm not trained in that, but if it's just like fitness stuff, send me a message, send me a DM. You'll usually get a video response back, and I'm pretty responsive within like 24 hours.
By the way, I know that personally. Windmill dumbbells, that was the video that I asked. So first time I ever sent her a message was, she's like, why are you standing like this?
Right. I mean, that's it. So that's the easiest way. The easiest way to get a hold of me is via Instagram. It is a public page. Mm-hmm. So now if your page ain't public and I'm not following you, you might want to send me an email, which my email is also itsamazing@gmail.com. So I'm always here to help people as much as I can through my own experiences. If I am not trained on something that you're asking me about, I'm not going to tell you, because, insurance is real. But I most likely can lead you all to someone that is way more experienced, because I have a large network of people within the fitness and the health and wellness space.
Yeah.
So, and everything doesn't always cost. Sometimes you just have to ask, and you catch people on the right day. They'll give you plenty of free information, Yeah. I mean, and Google is free too, you guys. Google is free. You just gotta weed through a bunch of stuff to get to the truth. But
that's why I love having this kind of summit, because it gives people more access. And that I'm launching the Women's Strength Initiative during the summit, and that Women's Strength Initiative is really to give access to all realms of strength. Like not like some people, oh, you're just going to teach me how to like lift and stuff. And I said, no, like realms of strength to me is networking, entrepreneurship, leadership, health and wellness, fitness, mentorship. There's so many things. And I just had to pick those 6. I could have picked more, but those are the 6 that I am focusing on right now. And they may evolve to other things, but health and wellness, this is part of that realm of strength. So Issa, thank you so much for your time today. I really, 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 really appreciate it and really admire you so much. And I'm so glad that you're a part of the summit again.
Hit me up anytime. I enjoy doing this. I really do. Even if Salt doesn't.
I know. I thought she was going to get up and be like, what are you doing, Mom? But she kind of like poked her head up for a second. She's like, but... All right. So, well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for hopping on the Standing Strength and sharing your story, because first of all, it like helps me a little bit as well. But also, I mean, I know there's other people who can relate to your story. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Hi there, everybody. It's Larnie Mulvey. I am so glad that I got to replay that message, because you know what? I love listening to the speakers. Like not only do I record, these are on record, so it could be on the YouTube channel, the Strong and Mighty YouTube channel, but it's I don't know. I just take a lot more notes when I hear it a second or a third time. So again, any of her contact information will be on her speaker tile that will be on the Standing in Strength page. So you guys can get a hold of Issa and ask her questions, because I mean, she's very, very accessible on Instagram and everything. So please reach out to her if you have questions for her. So my first guest today, live guest today, is my mentor. I hope she knows she is one of my mentors, because whenever I have a down day, sometimes I go back to her messages and they're very uplifting and encouraging. And that's why I'm asking her. I asked her to be on the Standing in Strength Summit because there is so much value in what she says. And, it gets you thinking. And what I love about her is she doesn't sugarcoat it. Nope. She tells you like it is. And I really thrive on that because, give it to me truthfully, give it to me honestly. So I'm going to bring on my friend, my mentor, Crystal Richardson, and have her introduce herself. And, her message is amazing. So I can't wait to hear it. So let me bring her on.
Hey.
Hi, Crystal. How are you?
I am doing amazing. You had me go after It's Amazing. So that's just great.
I got to keep it rolling, I got to keep it rolling, the amazingness. So, starts off with It's Amazing, goes with more amazing, and then, end with amazing. There you go.
Awesome.
How are you today?
Oh, wow. I am doing great. I had a personal care day, self-care day yesterday at one of the mountain lakes that we have here. Next time you guys come, you have to stay longer so that you can enjoy some of these things. But we had a really, really great time kayaking and stuff and I fell asleep on the beach. I woke up, all my people were gone. I'm like, but I looked back, they were at the table eating. But I'm like, wait.
They're like, oh, just leave her.
I was in the shade. I didn't burn to a crisp falling asleep on the beach. So
that's good. That's always good. I hope you had your SPF on too.
I did.
Oh my gosh. So Crystal, you know how much I talk about you all the time. And I really, I want to thank you for helping me build my strength, because I know last year I was struggling. I was like, oh my gosh, I am saying it the way you want me to. And you're like, no, you have more. And I am so grateful for a resource like you to push me, to go in that, untapped strength. I know that's what you're going to talk about today. And that is part of what the Standing in Strength Summit is, not only to build the community, but to understand that we have this inner strength inside of us. And sometimes we need to reach out. Sometimes we need to ask for assistance and help to untap that strength that we have. And I texted you the other day and I was like, you know what, Crystal, I found a video from last year.
I saw that.
God, such a difference. And,
That's awesome.
I'm just so grateful to have you in my life to help me untap. And then I know there's other people as well who are in my shoes who, started just like me and need someone like you, So, give us the deets here. Give us the untapped strength. Give us some foundation for today.
Yeah. So first of all, I'd just like to say thank you, Miss Larnie, and anyone who is in our circle knows that I love her name. Like she has no choice but to be famous. She talks about Tony Robbins. Forget him. Larnie Mulvey. What a name. That is the name, Larnie Mulvey, and the Power Lady. And I guess I give people names. I didn't realize until Emerge when you said that, and then somebody else said, like 3 or 4 people, like, she gave me this name. I didn't know I gave you the name Power Lady. Like I couldn't even remember that.
Yes, you did, and it stuck. So I'm here.
Yeah, but you are. And so thank you for allowing me to be here. This is just really, really exciting for me because you're stepping out and you're doing it, Larnie. You are doing it. you're doing it. And so I was like, oh, this is just, this is just so great. No, I'm serious. I'm not doing that, to be to kid. I'm like, emotional over here for real. So thank you for that. So did you want me to introduce myself, or what do you want? Are you ready for Untapped Strength? What do you want to do?
Go introduce yourself, because you have just so much that I'm like, I'm just going to let her talk. I'm just going to let her tell everybody.
Just tell everybody wherever they are.
Everybody, because I'll be, I want to highlight you, but you are so involved in so many things that help other people in the community, that I really want you to tell everybody, because if I'd be talking for forever, like, she does this, she does that, so.
Okay. Well, my name is Crystal Lynn Richardson, and I'm just a little girl from Flint, Michigan. And Larnie is right. But my parents, it's my parents' fault, and my brother, and all of those that are in my circle. So you need really great people in your circle, because my parents sent me to kindergarten with my little plastic briefcase and told me I could be anything I want to be. I can do anything I want to do. And even though I was met with bullying in elementary, junior high, high school, and on through adulthood, I still hear what my parents told me, and I believe it. Now, I haven't always walked that way and talked that way, even though I had accomplished many things before I turned 50. I think I'm about to be 57, but it was 50 that what happened was a number of things happened, and specifically related to one individual, quite frankly, where I said, you know what? No more. I said those two words, no more. And so all through my life being bullied, and all through my life hearing those words from my parents, you can be anything you want to be, and you can do anything you want to do, I really believe them. So yeah, I did well in school. I immersed myself in music and in dance and in the teaching of my teachers to do just that. And part of it was to take my mind off of the bullying, quite frankly. But what happened, Larnie, was I ended up being able to do a number of things very well. So yes, I use my left and my right brain. I have the creative part of what I do in my life, and I have the technical, analytical part of what I do. So what for those of you who don't know me, what she's talking about is, I teach dance, I write music, I actually draw. One of my drawings was used for a dentist's office. It was a lion with his tooth broken and his tail over his shoulder, and he was so sad. And so they used it in all their advertisements and stuff. And so yeah, I draw too. I didn't sew this, but I sew. So I have the creative talents. What'd you say?
Multiple talents, yes.
Yeah, but I have the creative side, and then I have the analytical side. So I help people start their businesses. I kind of dig into people's minds in relation to, what are things that are blocking them. And that's part of what I want to talk about today is untapped strength equals untapped cash flow. Because yes, I'm an engineer, and there's a lot of different things about me. I don't want to necessarily go through, like, I've spoken and trained in 30 some different countries live, before COVID. I was traveling all over the world. But what I really want to talk about today is not about me. I don't really like talking about myself, but I do want to talk about you who are here, you who are listening, whether it's live or whether it's hashtag replay, as I say, is that a lot of people, and Larnie's right, this is not going to be a sugar-coated message. A lot of people have untapped strength, which does equal untapped income. Now, I just so happened to marry 30 years ago this awesome, amazing guy, Mr. Ben, and Larnie's met him, who has kind of the same mindset related to that, and we've built a really great life for ourselves. And so this isn't to get on here and brag about 7-figure, 8, whatever it is. It's not to talk about number of zeros behind our name, but it's to talk about you and the fact that the things that I've done, you can do too. But we have untapped strength. Now, Larnie said that she went back, and it is okay to go back sometimes so that you can see how far you've come. She was like, wow, Crystal, I went back, just so you know, she put that in there too. Just so you know, I went back and heard myself speak a while ago, Crystal. And now it's like, wow, like I really see the difference. And guess what? This is June 2021. And I want her to send me a message in 2022, 23, 24, 25. Wow, Crystal, I went back and I see like how far I've come. And when she's on that stage with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, barefoot as Larnie Mulvey, I'm so serious right now. I'm getting emotional. You're laughing. This is true. I want you people to look back and see how far you've come. She did not have this summit for no reason the last time she had it, and not this time either. Strength is important. We have so much that's inside of us. Now, yes, I was always out front. I was always doing things, leading choirs, leading meetings, going to this country and that country and doing various trainings, technical training, doing missions trips, taking people along with me to all these different countries. A lot, but none of it was in relation to me and my story and what I had been through. And come to find out, that is what people needed. That is what people needed. People needed to hear that this strong person that they thought that was always strong had been bullied, had let her light be diminished. And they're like, your light was diminished? All the stuff you do? No way. Yes way. Yes way. And so, 50 came. And it took me like 2.5 years, and I'm all here bawling. Why do I never have tissue?
Well, you have to keep your tissue, but I have one after one of our last meetings. I have a tissue box right here.
It's right here. So people needed to hear about Crystal Richardson, which means people need to hear about you, whatever your name is. I want you to say right now, people need to hear about, and then put your name in it. Wherever you are, unless you're at work and you're not supposed to be talking to yourself.
Or driving.
You can say it when you're driving. Go ahead and say it. I want you to say, people need to hear about me. I want you to say this. This is standing in strength, not sitting in strength, not laying down in strength, not thinking about. The name of this summit is not thinking about strength. This is standing in strength. So I want you to stand today. I want you to stand, and I want you to say your name. I want you to give your own self strength, because once you give yourself strength, you give yourself cash flow. You give yourself acceptance of yourself. This is not all about money, but money makes a lot of things a lot easier. Let me tell you. Okay. And once I started doing that, it took me 2.5 years to do it, to say, oh, it's on now. And that's what she's saying. Like, I think what's on is I can't remember how old I am. But it's on from 52 and a half till now. So what's that? 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 4 or 5 years, whatever the math is. I took calculus, I took all the math courses, don't get me wrong. But no, listen, these last 4 or 5 years, it has been on. It has been on. And that's what Larnie's talking about. I just had a media experience where she came to Phoenix. There was people from New York, Chicago area. One of the other delegates lives a block and a half from her. They didn't even know. They met each other. And so now they're like all good buddies. They just took me out, and she's going to see other people in Oshkosh and stuff, all these people that live next to each other. And 2 of the other delegates lived next to each other in New York area. And then there was people from, California, different places. But the thing is, it was a media experience to get people to accept themselves, to get people to build up confidence, not just in public speaking, but in relation to their business. But you have to be serious about it. And no one can make you serious. You have to be serious yourself. And if you want to work with me, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. But if you want to work with me, it's on. Don't tell me you want to do something and then don't want to do it, because I'm not going to give you an out. I am on, people, but you have to be ready for that. You have to be ready for that. I have not enlisted in any armed forces, any kind of armed, the armed forces of any kind. But people that don't even know each other call me Sergeant K. Now, how they both came up with that is probably just out in the atmosphere, floating somewhere, and people just grab it. But they call me that because it is a sergeant mentality related to me helping you to be that sergeant for yourself. So standing in strength is about standing. And untapped strength means that, 1, you're giving yourself an out. 2, you're not developing the thick skin that you already have. 3, you don't have where you have like a counter proposal on stuff. So I want you to write this down. I need to have a counter proposal on my life. I need to have a counter proposal on my life, which means when something comes up, I don't give myself an out. I figure out how to get it done. And Larnie had to do that. I think it was yesterday. Something happened with the audio or visual or something. And guess what? Even if it happens right now, you don't cry and whine about it. Do something about it. So part of standing in strength is being a doer. And the Bible talks about that too, being a doer of the word. Now, I told Larnie, I posted that this was not going to be sugar-coated because a lot of times we're just too easy on ourselves. Now, and sometimes we're too hard on ourselves, but just recently, and I heard Issa, talk about she had a death in the family, and it hasn't been like my brother or my sister-in-law or anything like that has passed away, but I've just had 6 deaths, people that, a number of them were people that were close to me, and 3 of them where I had to serve as part of the services. I had to dance a couple times and did a prayer and stuff like that. Yes, in our culture, sometimes we dance at funerals. And so it was just an awesome homegoing. But here's the thing. Over this past year, there's been, as you know, with COVID and cancer and other things, just so many deaths. Mm-hmm. And a number of them, at least 3 or 4 of them were heads of all of these very, very influential organizations that I'm a part of. I'm only going to mention one because he was so pivotal in my life. They all were, but they were the heads of these organizations. So Frank Shankowitz was the founder, one of the main founders of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And he was the one that I met when it was that 52 some years old that our nonprofit was being honored for all of the work that we had done in all of these different countries. And plus here in the United States, we work with the homeless, at-risk youth, single moms, and a number of other things that we do. And we were being honored. So it wasn't even about starting a radio show, but there were some other people there that had a show, the main person who invited me there to honor our nonprofit. And so I was just talking to a guy and I was like, well, maybe I'm thinking about maybe I'll start a show too, with the different things that I like to do. And he's like, well, how about it? And if you want to do that, I'll be your first guest. And so I was like, well, yeah, that'd be great. And he's like, well, how about it? I'm like, okay, Frank, yeah, that'd be great. And so he was the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation. He was my very first guest on my very first radio show. And afterwards, he's like, this was your first show? You did amazing. Oh my gosh, that was really great. I'm like, well, I do interviews. I do, emceeing, and I'm a event producer, and so I'm used to speaking and stuff, but podcasting is different than that. And so that opened up so many other doors just by me having that one thought that I put out in the atmosphere. So standing in your strength, part of it is put stuff in the atmosphere. And yes, stuff is a really technical word, right? But put it in the atmosphere. Say it from your lips. And Larnie knows this too. In the different trainings that she's been in, that I talk about saying it out loud. There's certain affirmations and things you need to say to yourself every day. Saying it with your lips, not just saying it, like really meaning it. Like, I am confident. I am confident is not saying it. I am confident. Put the energy behind it. So standing in strength, bring the energy. Don't be lackadaisical. I can't even say it. Don't be lackadaisical. I said it. Take your stinking vitamins. Do your stinking exercise. Get up early. Open the blinds. Get the light in. Now, I don't like artificial light. And these little lights we have to use for this, I don't really like that because I just love the light from outside. Go out, take a walk, breathe. Do the things that you need to do for self-care that can help give you strength. So there's some other points that I have related to having thick skin and going over into the cash flow part, but I'll just take a breath right now and see if you have any questions.
So Crystal, I love the affirmations that I'm in your group. the Above Your Best group. So if anybody is looking for joining a group that is encouraging, inspiring, and empowering as well, the group that Crystal has is Above Your Best. And it is an amazing group. Like, but make sure if you're joining, make sure you answer those questions.
Right.
But right, that group has definitely helped build my strength. I part of the Standing in Strength Summit is building connections. And like you said, I've connected with so many other people in the group, and we've learned to support each other. And I think that is one of the biggest things about me holding these summits, is because I was in that disconnected group for a while. I had no idea how to start this. I had no idea how to, I had confidence before, but this is a way different level of confidence that I have. I mean, this confidence I have has brought a happiness into my life. It's brought the purpose into my life. And I think that is very important for people to have that connection, to have that kind of support. And I definitely found it in your group, Crystal. And definitely, when we met, I was just like, oh my God, this is, I've learned so much, but I've learned that I'm capable and that I'm able. And I'm just like, shoot, okay, here we go. Let's do this.
And that's an affirmation unto itself. I am capable. I am capable. OMG, what you just said. Yeah. I am capable. A lot of people think that they're not, but they are. You are. You can get up a little bit early. What?
That's the purpose. We have to find the strength. We have to find it within ourselves. And sometimes we need help to find it and get it out of us.
Right. Sometimes it has to be smacked out, Sometimes you have to be deprived of food, clothing, and shelter in order.
We have to be up for 13 hours just talking, right, and just practicing our 2 to 3 minute speeches. Well, Crystal, how do people find you? Because I know that there are going to be people who watch the replay who are going, how do I get a hold of this crazy lady?
2 days in a row. Oh my gosh. So this 3-year-old, hey, crazy lady. And then he's like, why did you call yourself crazy lady? And I'm like, this was yesterday at the beach. Now you're calling me crazy lady. It's because I'm almost 57 years old and still have issues throwing a stinking Frisbee. I won't let it go. So people in life, let's turn this into Standing in Strength. Let it go. There are certain things that you need to let go. My hand just stays on too long and it goes over there, and it's supposed to be going over there. So now you're calling me crazy lady. I hope nobody calls me crazy lady tomorrow, but if they do, oh well. But my name is Crystal Richardson. So my name is on the screen there, KRYSTYLLE, Richardson.com. That is my website where you can find everything, related to what I do. I do have a number of TV shows that are coming out on JD3 TV. I have books on Amazon and a number of other books that are coming out. Larnie was involved with the 51 Powerful P's of public speaking. They went through that as part of Emerge, a number of the powerful P's. And so she's really, really embracing them. She's one of the main ones that makes a point. There's 2 or 3 of them make a point to try to be first to get all their information in. And Larnie is one of those. And no, really, because she really stands in her strength. She really takes this seriously. And so I really appreciate that. And so just my website. I am the founder of the Woman Weekendpreneur. So that's the Woman Weekendpreneur, because a lot of women, men too, but a lot of women feel that they just have no time being a mother and being a working woman, that there's zero time to pour into your dreams. But there is. It's called the Woman Weekendpreneur, but there's different things that you can do with small bits of time during the week. And there's a formula that we put together specifically for you that you can use, and then also use your weekend to make dreams happen and get that cash flow coming. So I do have a online class academy. It's called Innovation Academy. And so Life Innovation Academy. And so what I'll do is just give you, more information about that and some of the classes that are on there related to unleashing your freedom formula and then designing your wealth formula. there's some trademark patented ways that you can do that as well, that I've used in my own life, and real excited about launching those.
See, then that's why I say you tell everybody, because there was so much. I'm here taking more notes that I thought that I already have this information. I was like, no, I don't have that. I don't have that. So, but Crystal, thank you so much for giving us your time this morning. And, you know, I believe the value that you give to others is so helpful and builds the community. You know, the pillars of the Strong and Mighty Company: positivity, confidence, and community. You definitely encompass all those three, and also help build this realms of strength that I have a vision of with the Women's Strength Initiative. It's like there, you encompass all that and really give me a great foundation to start with and to run with. You know, like this, like just like this summit, this is something that I remember texting you and going, I don't know what I'm doing. And you're like, really? Really? Yes, you do. And I'm just like telling you, like, okay, what do I do here? And you're like, well, you just answered your question. And I was like, you're right. But thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate your time today and the value that you have shared with the at the summit and with the speakers out there. I really appreciate. So you guys, all her contact information will be in the Strong and Mighty group under her speaker tile. So you guys can get a hold of her and mess with her and ask her all these questions, because she will make you work for your greatness and for your strength. And that is something that I find grateful for, and I'm very thankful for, because I wouldn't have had this summit without having the resource of Crystal Richardson to help me out. So thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. And just keeping awesome. And you talked about getting happiness and purpose and stuff, and we're going to be working on that cash flow. Okay.
Yes. That's my next step. Yes.
Serious.
Yes. For real. For real. That's Crystal's words. For real. For real. So,
for real, for real.
All right. All right, Crystal, we will connect soon. I will talk to you later. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. You guys, Crystal Richardson is definitely one of the people that I look up to. You know, she is a great resource for me now. I don't want to say was a great resource. She is a great resource. So if you're looking to find your greatness, jump into your greatness, she calls herself the jumpologist as well. You know, she makes you jump into your greatness. Go to the Above Your Best group on Facebook. I'll put all that information on there under her speaker tile, so you can join the group and see the amazing talks that she has, and gives you like a nice boost of support and a boost of power. So go onto that group. I'll put all that information there on the Strong and Mighty page. So let's move along here. I have my next guest. She is from Brussels. Yes. And I love talking to her, and I love talking about the services that she provides when it comes to breath work and eating and everything, because we all love food. Well, I do. I love food and life, and it makes me joyful and happy. So I am going to bring her on. Her name is Valerie Marot. I probably am saying her name wrong a little bit, but she'll correct me. She'll correct me. So I'm bringing her on right now. Oh, let's unmute you.
Yeah.
There you are. Hi, Valerie. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm so happy and so grateful to be in this amazing summit with this, amazing people that you're getting together. I mean, you can be really proud of yourself. It's really amazing. Well, thank you for that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for hopping on, giving us a little bit of your time this morning. I know it's the afternoon there where you're at, so yes. I'm just like, okay, great. Give us a little bit of who you are. Give us where you're from, and what is it that your services provide.
Yeah. So my name is Valérie Marot. So you said it really well.
I totally did it American. Valerie Marot.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. I'm used to it, So yeah, I'm French, born in France, and I lived, in the US, in the Middle East, and now I'm in Germany, different countries in Europe, and now I'm actually in Brussels. And I've traveled those countries and discovered all this different culture, which was very, very beautiful and very rich to me. So what do I do? Yeah, what do I do? So I actually today I help women to get in contact with their sensation in order to feel their body, to eat the right food and according to what they need. And how do I do that? Using the breath. Yeah, I know. It sounds way too easy and way too simple, but it is, because today, in our society, we hear so many things about food and so many things about taking care of ourselves and getting very, very confused. And because I went through this long journey of dieting since, the age of 18, tried all of them, and didn't really succeed. And I showed the world this in control woman, but actually within me, I was suffering from guilt and shame of eating food when I was not supposed to eat. And it was like my little secret. I didn't tell anybody for years and years, until one day I've decided, okay, this is enough. I want to change, and I choose to go into a different path. And that's why, standing in Thrift, this summit is really amazing, because the life is all about getting into your power and make the decision to change, like you do, and like I see you all the time, in your fitness, because there's some days, I mean, we've talked about it, you don't want to go, but still, you're committed and still you're going. And sometimes it's not very nice and comfortable. I mean, we share that as well. And it's beautiful to see the commitment, to see the strength, to see the power within you to continue into your path and into what you want to achieve. So within food is the same, and it's, there's a lot of diets, but actually it's a choice to decide, okay, now I'm going to stop and I'm going to see what's important for me. Because we all know, I mean, we eat for two reasons. We eat to feed ourselves, and the second is we eat for pleasure. I mean, let's be honest, right?
That's what ice cream is for.
Eating, yeah, it's beautiful to share, a meal with your friends, or to share a meal with your family. It's just like nice, it's pleasure, and you like to eat the food, like it's very tasty and so on. So that's the main two reasons we eat. But sometimes we also eat for emotional reason, to suppress, like, like because you're bored, or because you're sad, or even if because you're upset. So eating can help us suppress some certain emotions, but we all know that's not the solution. But still, the way out is not that easy. And I must say, it took me some time to get out of this pattern, which, I created actually when I was a child, I think, like, very early age. So it was so within me, in my subconscious, that it really took some work to get out. And I would say it's always nice to, as you just said before, to ask for help. We don't have to do it alone, we can really ask for support and for help. And that's how we can really grow and love ourselves better, and be more conscious of ourselves. And sometimes, we might fall back, that's okay. You can just continue on. And so today my work is basically online, and it's really to help a woman to change the relationship they have with food. So the relationship could be like amour chéri, or it could be like a real battle with guilt and shame, really heavy. Yeah. So the idea is to change this relationship into a loving and caring relation between the food and themselves. And this is when I use the breath, and this is when I use mindfulness as well, too, I don't want to say easy, but too simple, I would say, practice that you can implement in your life to make the change when you've made the choice, because you have to commit. That's very important.
Yeah.
It's basically like I mean, you cannot say, okay, I'm gonna lift so much. No, it's day by going that you're gonna reach your goal. So yeah, it's how, by committing on daily basis, because we eat few times a day.
Yeah. Some more than others, like me. I'm a grazer. Do you think that's part of emotional eating? Like people who just eat a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Like, is that part of like the breath work and eating and all that stuff, or do you talk about like just eating 1, 2, 3 meals a day? Like, how does that work for you?
So I don't really talk. Actually, what I do, we don't really talk about food. We more talk about why you're eating, how you're eating, and when you're eating. And the food is just like on the side.
Oh, you never think about that. At least I don't think about that. I'm just like, food, eat, food, eat.
Yeah.
I don't think about like the why I'm eating. It's just such a habit to eat, because
Yeah.
it's like, this is what I do. I train, I eat. Oh, those chips look great. I'm going to eat those, So when it comes to that feeling of the, like understanding the feeling, like how do you train that? How do you get that mindset in there?
Yeah. So actually, it's a whole program that I do on one-on-one, because this is more laser pointed and more tailored for each person. And sometimes I do it on groups, but I prefer one-on-one. And we dive deep and in trying to find out, for example, what is in your subconscious? Why do you think you're eating? So there's plenty of different exercise that we do on the call, to discover how you function. Because so there's not a frame for everybody. It's like how Larnie is going to function with food according to what she went through when she was a child, and what's the habit in her family, and how this habit in her family as a child can impact her today in her life. So that's how we see that. So it has to do with your relation with food as a child, the relation you had with your family, when you were a child, and also what you kept as habit today in your life. Plus, sometimes there is, big challenges, we can call them trauma, that we have to deal with. And the only thing we have is food. So we could be overeating. We don't talk about weight, we just overeating, just to suppress that very strong emotion, because we don't know how to do it. So it's a whole discovery. It's a whole journey that lasts 3 months, actually, to discover your relationship with food.
Wow.
And for example, we have this sentence, oh, you have to finish your plate. It's so.
I heard that growing up. Yep.
Yeah. And in certain family, it's very, very important. And then at a later age, like the adult think in the subconscious that she has or he has to finish his plate, because it's just not possible to leave some food in the plate, even though you've got the feeling that he's full or she's full. So it's how to deal with that, not feeling bad if you leave some food in your plate, and how to become aware of a behavior that was actually found from your childhood and is impacting your life today.
Wow, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's for example one thing. The other things would be what is really hunger, because we're not sure, because we eat because it's time, or as you just said, you finish exercising, okay, well then I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat, or because you're working and then your colleagues say, okay, let's go have lunch, okay, you just go. But you don't really check within yourself, am I hungry?
Mm.
You know?
That's really
And
interesting. We're so scheduled. You know, I feel like I'm very scheduled to eat. When I'm hanging out with my sister, she like we'll have breakfast together, and then like an hour or two later, I'm just like, I'm hungry. She's like, again? We just ate again? You know, and then she's like, I'm full, I'm full. I'm like, how could you be full? You didn't even eat a lot during breakfast when we had breakfast. So how do we get in touch with our feelings when it comes to food? Like, do you have like a quick tip? Like if we're out and about, like what is there something quick that we can ask ourselves? Like,
yeah,
you know,
just a few second practice. You just stop, you take a couple of breaths, and you ask yourself, am I hungry? Then you will most probably get the answer. Maybe you are not hungry, but you feel like you want to eat, which is completely different. And that's also okay to have this urge of food. And then that's what I work with different hungers. So I've got work with the eye hunger, the mouth hunger, the heart hunger. So during this 3 months program, we'll discover all this different hunger and how it's impacting us on our daily life. So just for example, eye hunger, you just had a nice lunch and everything, and then you leave your friend, you walk, and then you pass in front of a bakery, and like the cake is calling you. It's like, oh my God, I need to eat this cake. And you're full because you just finished your lunch, right? But the cake is calling you, and then you're hesitating, and then you just go, and then the hesitation is not about buying it or not, it's about which one I'm going to choose, actually. So it's kind of like that. And then you know that you're not hungry, but you have this urge for food, for sweet or salty, whatever it is. And it's okay. But what we do in the practice is we ask ourselves, what do I need right now? What is my need? What do I need? Because it's not food. You just finish. So with the exercise, there's many different answers. There's could be, you had a heavy lunch with your friend, and you feel a bit either sad or a bit upset because of something, and you need comfort. So that's what we talk about, comfort food. So the lunch was good. You're not hungry, but you need to comfort, and you don't have anything else on hand. So you see the food, and that's how you're gonna comfort yourself. Which is okay to use food to comfort yourself, as long as you know that is to comfort yourself. So what I mean by that is, my parents used to have a bakery. So imagine, I love to eat food. I was always all my life on diet, and they had a bakery. So we would eat croissants in the morning, but when they had leftover croissants at night, you will cut it half, put ham and cheese, and have cheese croissants. So I've been raised with that. And then so it was just very normal for me. And then because I lived in many different countries, for Christmas we have this special cake with the buttercream. And in each country I went to, I had to eat this cake. I had to find the French bakery which was making this cake. And each time I found it, I can tell you. Anyway, so it was, you see, this cake as a memory for me, as a feeling and emotion attached to it. So when I was not feeling so well, I would get a very tiny version of that same cake, wherever I was. And before, I would just buy the cake and just eat it alone, like nobody would see me. And then after, just do like nothing happened. And then what this work actually brought to me and a lot of my clients is that the guilt and the shame just goes away. How? Because when I buy the cake, or when my clients buy this, whatever they want to comfort themselves, they know that is to comfort themselves. And then now when I do this, I just go buy this cake in the very good bakery. I come home, I make a nice cup of tea, I take a nice table, maybe I put some music, and I really enjoy the cake. And I don't feel guilty, and I don't feel ashamed, because I needed this comfort. So this is the difference between, be eating without thinking, basically. That's how I would call it. And eating when you are fully aware, why you're eating, and you choose either to eat or not to eat. And this is really a life-changing, because you learn a lot about yourself, and you learn a lot about your emotion, and you become aware of your pattern that has been with you since you were a child, basically.
That's such a good point. That is such a good point, because it's habits. We eat out of habits, and we eat out of, like, like, I know it's breakfast time, I have to eat, like, things like that. Like, we eat out of structure. And I think it's really, I love how you put the feeling, the thought of eating into your life, instead of just doing it because you do it, but like the feeling. And I would think that would make you enjoy your food more.
10 times more. 10 times more. So after, it's all about, emotional eating, how you take care of your emotional while you're eating, your physical sensation, and also what your head is saying. So there's 3 different levels: emotional, physical, and mentally. Because sometimes your head would tell you, oh, no, don't eat this because this is bad. You have to eat a salad. This is, much more healthy. But you don't want the salad. You want the chips. You see? So, even if your head saying it, it's like, thank you, my head, but I want the chips now. So it's becoming aware of what your head is saying, your emotions state at the moment you're going to eat, and what is the physical sensation you have. And to come back to what you just said, by taking the time to eat and be fully aware of what you have in your plate, actually you develop automatically an awareness to food, an awareness to the taste, and an awareness to the texture of the food. And then it's really a beautiful experience that you can do many times during the day, as we eat a few times a day.
Wow. So that's so cool. That is so cool. That gives you the choice. It gives you the choice. It gives you that mental awareness of your food and the purpose of the food. It's like you understand that. Well, Valerie, tell us how people can get a hold of you and ask you more questions. I have questions about the eye, mouth, heart eating, that hunger. Like, I think maybe now I think about, I'm very eye hungry all the time. Like, I just see the food as I eat. So if people have more questions about this, this awareness and this style of eating, like, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, the best is, Facebook, on Messenger, and, private messages or whatever. I'll be really happy. And it can go under Valérie Marot, my name. I also have another page. It's called Breathe, Love, Eat. So I'll give you I think you have the link of those 2 pages. And then I have a website called valerie.marot.com, where people can get in contact as well and ask me questions. I'll be really happy to answer, because a lot of people don't know about it, because it has nothing to do with diets. It's just the relationship you have with yourself and the food, which is completely different. And it's very important to understand how you function, And that's what I teach. I don't teach how you should function, or how we actually human beings function with the food. I just take you with your past and your future and how we can change that. So it's just a beautiful transformation that people go through when they take the journey. It's really beautiful to see. Very, very nice. Yeah.
Wow, that is beautiful. That is amazing. So Valerie, thank you so much for hopping on this Standing in Strength Summit #2 today, giving us a little bit of your insight and expertise when it comes to this, because I think, there's people, like I've been saying this whole time, there's a lot of people who are in maybe like the same boat, like trying to understand, the choices for eating,
Yeah.
And Heidi Donnell yesterday, she's like, you can find a coach for everything. And you are now another new resource for people to connect to, because who would have thought that there's a coach that does this kind of stuff?
Exactly.
So
well, thank you for having me. I'm very
Valerie,
happy to share.
You were great. The information that you shared is amazing. So again, you guys, if you're looking to connect with Valerie Moreau, I can't do it. I will definitely put all of her information on her speaker tile in the Strong and Mighty group, so you guys can contact her. She's another amazing resource to use, again, with the Women's Strength Initiative. Another resource, another easier, accessible person to talk to about something totally, we didn't think about. So thank you so much, Valerie, for your time. I appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Amazing. And I will connect with you soon.
Okay. Thank you, Larnie. All the best to you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Guys, could you imagine that there is another coach that does something like that? I would have never have thought about it. I just eat because I eat. But, to understand the emotions, the feeling that goes with eating, if it helps me understand food better, if it helps me understand the feeling that I have with food and enjoy the food better, I definitely will be talking to Valerie and asking her more questions. All right, you guys. So my next guest, Joseph Arthur, he is magnetic. I'm going to say magnetic because when I follow him on Facebook, his energy is amazing and his message is amazing. I love how he makes you really think about some things and understand the power of who you are. It really does help other people. But he is a certified high performance coach, and I want him to talk about that because, as someone who is standing in strength and wanting to build this community of strong, powerful people, building their best powerful version of themselves, I think he has great insight on how to build that. So I'm going to bring him on here. There he is. There he is. Look at his magnetic smile. See what I mean when I say magnetic, you guys? It's not just that awesome smile he has. He has this energy and amazing insight on performance. So Joseph, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us today and the listeners. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about yourself.
Well, first, can you guys hear me?
Yes, totally.
Thank you so much for having me. I purposely picked this spot as the last because all the really good speakers have gone ahead. And the one that just, everybody feels bad and they're going to hang out, that's where we are.
Oh, my gosh.
But really, Larnie, thank you so much for having me. I mean, what you're doing is amazing. I got a chance to get a peek at some of the speakers and just to see the value that they add. The work that you're doing is generational. I mean, it's similar to the work that I feel like I do as well. When I'm working with clients in person or as a group, I don't only see the only individual that I'm working with, but I see the team that is behind them, because the decisions that we make together as I help them impacts generations beyond my lifetime. So the work that you're doing here is certainly doing so, especially with women. I mean, I happen to be privileged to have an amazing mother, so I have huge respect for women. And you having this group here, kudos to you and what you do, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So, Joseph, like, I really want to dive deep here into your coaching and like, what made you transition from your job, your 9 to 5, to this helping people be high performers? Like, what made you transition into that?
It's funny you ask, because actually exactly 24 months ago was when I walked away from an 11-year career in the financial world. And I was with the same company for 11 years and on a part-time basis. I believe that's where you and I met, through Jordan Kemper,
Yes.
which I happen to be at his house right now. This is actually his office.
Oh. Tell him I said hi.
I will. So I was in the financial world, went to school for accounting, got a job out of after college with a consultant firm. I mean, I was treated well for the most part, but there was this internal dissatisfaction that was going on. And even though I was good at what I did, it still did not mean I should continue to do it. So I tell people, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to continue to do it. I was thankful to have the raving reviews from partners. They enjoyed working with me, but still there was just this angst. There was just something there that just held me back. And even though, I'm considered to have this magnetic gift, which I'm grateful for, but I'm really an introvert. Believe me.
Oh my gosh.
So as time went on, in this role with this company, really digging deep, trying to figure out what the next step was, I was introduced to personal development. And I fell in love with personal development. I started to enjoy who I was becoming. I enjoy that process of growth. I enjoy, wow, you see it this way, you can do things, you can speak, you can do all these things. So I was following the Tony Robbins, the John Maxwell's, reading all their tools, attending their seminars. And I started to ask myself, well, what's the next step? Well, fast forward to my last roughly about 36 months in the corporate world, I went through some hard times, perhaps even some depression. And it was challenging because that was through a period where I was rarely posting on social media. But what I would do is, after work, I would brainlessly scroll through. And you know how Facebook has memories, things. Well, I would read things that I wrote years ago, and I would ask myself, who is that person? I want that person back. Wow. Because I was literally drowning in this place of just depression. Because my life was, I was going into work, getting into the city at 8:30, working till 6:30, jumping on a train to head back home, having a late dinner, terrible workout, jumping back online at 9 or, to work till midnight, and kept doing it over and over and over again, to the point that self-care became selfish in a very unhealthy way.
Wow.
And in that moment, I had to sit down and ask myself, what's going on here? Because I had family events I was so drained from working Monday through Friday that Saturday became Joe Day, which was very unhealthy. And it didn't matter what was going on. What mattered was when Joseph arrived. And then I had to look myself in the mirror and said, who the heck do you think you are?
Wow.
Had to have a real tough conversation. Well, clearly what's going on, you're unhappy with. We need to change something. And that's where I started to apply some of the resources and tools that I was introduced to years ago to get that person back. And that's how I started to apply the high performance habits, which is what I get to coach on now, which helped me actually make the transition from the corporate world into my entrepreneurship journey.
Wow. That is an amazing transformation journey to find the strength you have to find that inner strength that you have.
Yeah.
And like Crystal Richardson was just talking about earlier, about untapping your unleashed strength that you have inside, so you can help other people. You know, you have to you love yourself before you love other people as well. That is an amazing journey. What happened? Like, what was it? What was like one of those pivotal moments that you're just like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to help other people. I'm going to get my certification and I'm going to help other people because I don't want them to fall in line in the same boat. Like, what was your pivotal moment?
There's several. And I think, the compound effect just took place, but one that I could distinctly, pull up right now would be, it was a Saturday morning, had worked all week. Head into the gym, got into the locker room, changed, got on the gym floor, and literally walked up to, the gym floor. And I looked at the mirror and eyes just bloodshot red, like I was out partying the night before. Just looked so unhealthy. Was having a dad bod, and I don't have little kids running around. It's like, Joseph, why do you have the dad bod coming, bro? What's going on? And I literally looked at myself and said, you look like shit.
Wow.
I do not talk to myself that way. That was a moment of something must change.
Wow.
That was it.
It takes that one thing where you look at yourself. Like for me, when it came to building the standing and strength community and the strong and mighty community, I got tired of being put in the corner by my boss.
Yeah.
Like I would ask, like, hey, what can I learn to build the women in our group? Hey, can we do a leadership program for the women in our group? And I got tired of it. And so now I'm here building, like you were saying earlier, like I didn't even think about that, like building that generation, but like sharing it. And so we could build that legacy for upcoming women and building women leaders and everything. And I think you said it, you looked into your past resources and use those. And I think that is important to understand that, like for people like me, I've been saying it throughout the summit, I didn't know the resources. Yeah. I had no clue. I had no idea. I didn't even know what a CHPC was until you told me. And Heidi Denal said it. She's like, you can find a coach for a lot of stuff.
True.
For whatever you're looking for. And so now if anybody is looking for a high performance coach, you are a resource. You are not a resource.
Yeah, and to break down why I went with this specific certification, I'd studied the work for years. And I don't know if you're familiar with Brendon Burchard, but he's the founder of the High Performance Institute. He's actually one of Oprah Winfrey's coach. So the tools and resources that I get to use.
I answered Oprah on your page. I said Oprah. Okay, go ahead.
So as I was sifting through certifications, which one that I really jive with, and the background behind high performance is it was the largest study over 2 decades of the world's highest performers, from Olympians to professional athletes to CEOs, executives to, governmental officers in high different positions. Number one, what habits, because success leaves clues, and within those clues, we find their habits. What habits, number one, did they actually apply to their lives to get to such levels? And number two, what's more important is how are they able to sustain those levels, those positions in society for an extended period of time without the burnout, with keeping healthy relationships, with having their well-being, the things that I lost. How are they able to do those? So those are the habits that I'm able to teach on now and help clients sift through and navigate through the craziness of life. And I loved that concept and that methodology because it had science, it had facts, and it was over 2 decades of resources and data that was pulled to really, really point to these are what we need to focus on. And I was able to apply that into my life, and that helped me with the transition. And now, like I said, I get the privilege of coaching people, my clients, on these habits and how they helped me to see. I think the most gratifying part is to see people go through transformation from one to another. I explain my coaching is almost like a strength and conditioning coach. So you think about a football team, they have the quarterback coach, they have the D-line coach, they have the cornerback coach. But the strength and conditioning coach takes the quarterback and becomes a better quarterback, takes the defensive line and becomes a better D line. So my position as a quote unquote strength and conditioning coach, if we're to use it in that context, is to help you, first of all, clarify what the goal is, because clarity is actually the first habit. So I spend one whole session on how to uncover clarity, how to get clear, because these habits, once mastered, can actually be applied to all different projects, all different relationships, all different areas of life. So spending one specific session on each habit helps you master it and then be able to apply it in different areas of your life.
Wow, that is really cool. I wouldn't even have thought about like mastering a habit.
Yeah.
You know, like habit to me, like sometimes I think habit is just those things that you do, you know, like brushing your teeth is a habit.
Yeah.
You know, but really, do you think about like, are you mastering brushing your teeth for 2 minutes like the dentist says?
Right.
Sometimes I'm just like, you know.
Right.
So like you're helping build these strong habits for people.
Correct.
To be the coach for them to build the strongest version of themselves. And I think that is a wonderful foundation for people to understand, is that you have to have a coach.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and some people are very resistant, and I was one of them. For sure, I was one of them. But when I was talking to Crystal Richardson earlier, you know, I looked back at what I was last year to who I am today, and without the resources, without the support system, without people, you know, like pretty much giving it to me the way, you know, be direct with me, no sugarcoating, I don't think I would be here right now. I don't think I would be here talking with you and like asking these questions to someone who is a certified high performance coach.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're working with your clients, Joseph, when you get those clients who are in that slump, let's just talk in that slump, what advice do you give them to build them up, you know, without holding their hand so much? Like, how do you do that?
Well, number one is, again, we have to go back to the baseline. The foundation is seeking clarity. Where do we want to go? My job as a coach is forward thinking. I'm not interested in being the most frustrated human being is a stagnant human being. We are innately designed to grow, progress. So whenever anyone's frustrated, they're stagnant. And that is caused from a few things. Number one, it could be fear. Number two, could be internal conflict. Number three, lack of clarity, which usually is what is holding them back from moving forward. When I was in that position, I was not sure of what my next step was. So I was unclear. So clarity is the first step, is let's figure out where we need to go. Even if we don't know the final destination, what's the next first step? Let's get clear on that. Wow. And that is where I would start with the individual. Before we add anything else on, let's get clear. If we need to identify the end goal, great. If not, what's the next first step? That's where we go.
I've been taking notes. So if I'm looking down a little bit, I just, you know, had to take some notes because I know I'm going to rewatch this again. You know, I love to reflect on all the speakers that are speaking, especially, you know, like everyone today has brought on so much really great information. So I like to take notes, but then rewatch and take more notes. So, so what you just said, that most of the frustrated human beings is the stagnant human beings. Correct. So when does that also include like movement and fitness, movement in like health and wellness, and like you having to search out resources to get you moving, you know, is that part of your like coaching, like getting them the strongest version of themselves, trying to get them out of being so stagnant? You tell them, go out for a walk.
true. I mean, like I said, the first habit is to seek clarity. Because once you have an idea, I mean, think about it. You jump in a car right now and you have no destination. What happens? Someone just said, go. Where am I going?
First question would be like, where? You know?
Where? Exactly. So we need to get clear on where we want to go, where we want to head. And the second habit is actually energy, because once you get clear on where you want to go, you get excited. That's where the progress takes place. That stagnant frustrated individual is now making progress. There is some sort of life that is now built in. I mean, that's now birthed in. And now you start to move forward. So really, number one, that first step is the clarity part. And we spent one whole session on seeking clarity.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
That's so awesome. Joe, like, what if you were going to give our listeners a little quick tip for today to build that clarity? What tidbit, what tip could you plant in us? Give us that strong positive seed in our brain. What can you gift us in our minds today?
Wow. So now you're asking for my full message. Well, I'll make it really simple. Okay. When it comes to growth, determination, and the summit, I'm going to use an example, and I'm going to use business and life and married together. One, a good friend of mine, she's done very well, single mom, 3 kids, and in 10 years has built over 300 real estate properties. One of them is a campground business in Tennessee. And this woman, she's had this property for 10 years. And recently she posted in this one property, she's able to develop 9 streams of income inside one business.
Wow.
She mined her business. Now, compared to someone else that offers campground business, but all they offer is camping and park your RV. If they both went to sell, which one would have more value? Hers, right? Because she has way more to offer her customers, and it's just a much more valuable business. Now, the question with us human beings is to seek clarity in mining our own gifts. The marketplace pays for value, not your time, pays for value. Her business is more valuable because she's able to mine that gift. Much like our lives, when we're born, they say gift of life, right? But do we spend enough time with our creator to uncover the value within us to bring to the marketplace? Getting clear on that takes spending time with your creator. And that's something we rarely do. Much like this iPhone that I have here. To really understand the value of this iPhone, it's best to spend time with the designer. To get the most value. So to get clear, to really get clear, number one, in my opinion, is to spend time with your creator, because then you mine your gifts. You mine the value within you that you're able to bring to the marketplace to make this place better than it was before you arrived. Getting clear about that is where growth happens, is where a true engaged life happens. So that's.
I need a tissue. I need a little tissue, because I felt every word that you said. Like I seriously did. I felt every word that you said, because going through my entrepreneurship journey, just beginning it, I had to look within myself and understand what makes me tick. What is it that is driving me to help women become the most strongest version of themselves? And I had to look at how I grew up, as an immigrant moving to the States. I didn't have the representation of a strong Asian woman, that is physically strong growing up in the 80s. I'm in my 40s. So like I grew up in like the 80s. So like, where was that?
Right.
So I had to look inside myself, talk with the universe, talk with God, and understand, like, okay, what is it? What is it? And I still have talks with God at like 2:30 in the morning. He definitely pops in my brain, and like I start talking to myself at like 2:30 in the morning. Like, okay, God, what is it? What is it? But I listen.
Yes.
You know, I have to listen because it helps me build my foundation of who I am and why am I helping people?
Exactly.
You know, it's like, why am I helping people that I don't know? And it's because I'm grateful for what I have now.
Yeah.
And I want to share that with everybody.
Exactly. That's
Oh my gosh. I love your journey, Joseph. I love that clarity is number one. Clarity is number one in understanding yourself and building yourself. So Joseph, how do people get a hold of you?
So
if
simple.
They want to work with you. How do they want to get how do they get a hold of you?
Really simple. You could either shoot me an email, joseph@josephoarthur.com. Don't put Joseph Arthur because there is a singer and artist that his name is Joseph Arthur. I've gotten private messages on Twitter and random places. We love your music, and I'm thinking, where in the world did you do not want to hear me sing? That's a gift I was not given. So it's joseph@josephoarthur.com, or simply find me on social media. It's the same. Joseph O. Arthur on Facebook, Joseph O. Arthur on Instagram. Whichever way would be, I've got access to it all.
You know, you're talking about the iPhone, and you're like, you know, if you want to learn, you have to go to the designer, because I really would love to know what all these buttons mean.
Exactly.
You know, all of a sudden, you know, you get that meme that says, I was so and so years old when I learned that this button did that. That's like me all the time. I'm like, really? No kidding.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But Joseph, thank you so much for providing this value for 25 minutes as we were talking. You know, what you are saying is so amazing to provide the listeners. You know, like we get lost in that, figuring out what our clarity is. We just like jump to the next step. And we don't know the clarity. And I definitely went through that because I'm like, I want this now, but really I had to work to get to the steps of now.
That makes sense. Yeah, we all do it. You know, it's a conscious adjustment. It's a conscious decision to make that change and to harness those habits and to really intentionally step in.
Wow. So much value in your message today. I'm so glad I got the nerve to ask you to hop on.
Well, thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your group. Thank you for the work that you do. And girl, don't stop, keep going. I mean, I understand because myself, you know, I'm an immigrant myself. My family came here 27 years ago, so I know exactly what it's like. Certainly starting something new in a whole new soil.
Yes.
So I get it.
Well, thank you so much, Joseph. I will make sure, you guys, to put all his contact information in the Strong and Mighty group under his speaker tile, so you guys can get a hold of him and ask him a whole bunch of questions. Remember, make sure you do Joseph O. Arthur and not Joseph Arthur, because, you know, I don't see him singing a song to you. So guys, make sure you guys I will make sure to get that email correct on the Strong and Mighty page so people can get a hold of you. So thank you so much, Joseph, for your time. I appreciate you so much. And you have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Guys, really, how awesome is Joseph with his message of finding your clarity first? I mean, I 100% agree. You have to find your clarity before you start moving forward. You know, like we try to do the forward steps first. Well, we haven't like built our back steps yet, you know. So I think it's really cool to have that message from Joseph about clarity. So as we're winding down here, the Strong and Mighty Summit, I just wanted to quickly talk about the Women's Strength Initiative. And there are so many different reasons why I started the Standing in Strength Summit. There are just so many, as I talk about how I've gone through my journey of being an entrepreneur and starting my own business. The fear that I had to build a business, the fear that I had, maybe like a second guessing myself and thinking, oh my gosh, nobody's going to listen to me, blah, blah, blah. It's very, very interesting to not have the resource. When I was thinking about doing everything myself and not knowing what I had to do to build who I am today. And now that I have these resources, I definitely want to share them with everyone who is listening and watching. And that is the purpose of the Women's Strength Initiative. And, that's where I stand today. So I wanted to do this really quick. Oopsies. Wanted to share my screen. With everyone. So there it is. All right. So this is the Women's Strength Initiative. I'm launching it today officially at 10:55 a.m. And why is the Women's Strength Initiative important to me? Well, for me, I'll tell you, it opened the doors. That's why I picked these 3 pictures here. The first picture is opening the door. There were a lot of closed doors that I thought were in front of me, but really, asking and knowing all the resources helped open the doors to meet and connect with other people. The second picture is moving this curtain. I was in a phase of my life where I was really stuck in myself, and I was like really thinking that I was protecting myself by hiding behind the curtain. But really, is the curtain protecting me, or is it preventing me from seeing the opportunities that are out there for me? So when I think about the Women's Strength Initiative, I think about removing the curtain, removing those barriers, and understanding that there are so many opportunities out there. There are so many resources out there to have. And then this last picture that I picked, you know what? It's breaking the mold, breaking the idea of what is holding me back. And, the only way to get past a lot of the walls is to break them down. So what is the Women's Strength Initiative? It is an aim to provide access to all the realms of strength, which I have talked about throughout the summit today. So leadership, networking, mentorship, entrepreneurship, health and wellness, and fitness. I brought on all these speakers that talk about their strength and how it intertwines with all these different realms of strength. And this initiative, I want this initiative to increase opportunities for women and young girls. We are bringing up the next generation, just like Joseph said. There is this next generation that's coming up. We have to support them. We have to let them know that they are a lot stronger than they think they are, and that there are opportunities for them to ask. So that is what the initiative is all about. How does it tie into the pillars of Strong and Mighty? So when I think about community, positivity, and confidence, those are the 3 main pillars of the Strong and Mighty company. We want to develop the community for women and girls to access these opportunities. Build that positivity. We sometimes get stuck in being in the negative, but really you have to think about the positivity when it comes to that. Confidence. We support and honor and empower no matter the size, no matter strength, no matter age or ability. I want to build that confidence into everyone that I touch, everyone that I meet. So these are the circles that I believe the realms of strength, give us that strength inside of us. Fitness, we want to improve access to fitness, to take care of your body. We had Issa, we had Carmel on here that talked about, the access to them to talk about health and wellness and fitness. Issa falls under health and wellness as well. It's not just the access to physical, to the physical aspect of, fitness. If you can't get out, if you don't have a resource, there are so many online resources that can help you with that. Mentorship. A lot of the speakers that were on today, they are mentors. They are able to mentor you to find the vision, that you have, to build the vision of who you are and what you want to build for yourself. Entrepreneurship, we just talked to Joseph Arthur, who builds entrepreneurs to, encourage the business mindset, by getting clarity. We also talked to a lot of the speakers in the first day to figure out like what is the best way to live in gratitude. Like Tina Torres, live in gratitude. How does living in gratitude build your business? Networking, connecting, that was the big word that I was using throughout the summit today, was just connecting. Like I want to make sure I'm connecting people to resources, to understand that there's so much out there. Talking to Frances Manias the other day, it's like she wants to put a barbell in everyone's hands when it comes to health and wellness and fitness, but really that's part of leadership as well, to make sure that you're building your confidence, to understand that there is so much more out there. So I just wanted to share that with you. And if you want to take part of this initiative, please let me know, because I am, this is the beginning stages of this initiative, and I want to build this to have an impact in the world, to change the narrative of what women are seeing themselves as, let's give these upcoming generations a great foundation to stand on, so we can continue to help people along the way. So you guys, that's it. That is the Standing in Strength Summit today. And I am so excited and happy to have all these speakers that came on today to share their message, to share what they have for their services, and that's available for everyone to have. It's really important that we have these resources, because honestly, I remember starting my journey, I didn't know what these resources were, and there is a coach for everyone, and there's a support for everyone. So let's make sure we're using all these resources that are out there. So you guys, thank you so much. If you guys have been here the whole time and listening to all these speakers, I thank you so much for being here and being, listening, asking questions. If you are looking for the contact information for all the speakers, just hop on the Strong and Mighty page and just scroll for the speaker that you are looking to connect with or looking for more information about, and their contact information will be on there so you guys can connect. So what an amazing 3 days. What an amazing 3 days. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for hanging in there and letting me put some positivity into your mind today. And I will look forward to Standing in Strength Summit number 3 in October. I don't have the dates just yet, but that is the date that is in my mind at the moment. And I've not put it out in the world so everybody can hear it. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys around and about soon. One quick thing, if you guys are looking for a quick read to unleash your own personal inner strength and follow some ladies' journeys that went through, this is the book that I have out right now. It is called Standing in Strength, Inspirational Stories of Power Unleashed. It's found on Amazon and other booksellers. So please, this book has got like reflection stories at the end. You guys can reflect on the ladies' journeys and, things that you've learned throughout the chapters that you read. So, all right, you guys, it's been wonderful. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys all soon. My name is Larnie Mulvey. I'm the Power Lady, and I share my strength with you. Have a wonderful day.